last thing we want to talk about before we head out here. It's week 12. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to Cincinnati, taking on the Bengals, a Joe Burrow-less Bengals, a massive game for the Steelers' shot at the AFC North and really for their playoff hopes as a whole. It's Jake Browning. It is a banged-up defense for the Cincinnati Bengals. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers' new offensive coordinator, Eddie Faulkner, is going to lead everybody out there. What is your key to victory for this Week 12 matchup?
Well, I think it's something that we kind of touched on earlier, and it's lean on what's comfortable, lean on what you're good at in the offense, and that's running the football. I mean, the Bengals, and I did not know this before I looked it up, but they are the 31st ranked rushing defense, like as far as yards allowed in the NFL. Like I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought they had a ton of talent there that would have been able to shore that up, but you're good at running the football. The Bengals aren't good at stopping it. Seems like a pretty simple formula there. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. So just lean on Jaylen Warren. He's hot. He has to get more than 9 carries, man. And I think he only got like 3 receptions, maybe if that many, against Cleveland. Like he's got to touch the ball more. He's just got to. Like there's no two ways about it. So feed Jaylen Warren. Let Najee finish off some hard runs. Like that's something it's not like you have to take him completely out of the game plan either. But run the ball. Exploit this team for exploit what your opponent doesn't do well and just capitalize on what you do well and make everything comfortable for everyone as they go through this transition with Matt Canada going out and Eddie Faulkner coming in. Just keep it simple, run the football, come out with a win.
Yep. And one of those passes for Jaylen Warren was that screen that didn't have any chance. So really it was 2. It was 2 receptions there. Yeah, I agree. Like just to add on to that, I think for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be successful on offense, it's just take this out of Kenny Pickett's hands. Don't make this a fourth quarter game that Kenny's got to win. Try to put it away early and just gain momentum. Like control the clock. Control the clock as an offense. Everybody talks about, a quarterback has to be a game manager. Your offense as a whole could be a game manager. You know, you could control the clock by running the football and throwing shorter passes and just working the sticks the first 3 quarters of the game and trying to build a lead while you're doing so, and then allow the Steelers defense to do what it does best, and that's to just hold teams to under 20 points. Like if you could go out and score, it doesn't have to be a score fast, but if you could score early in the game, and then you could score again on your second drive, and that takes up a decent chunk of clock there, you got 14 points on the board, and the defense is just expected to keep a team under 2 touchdowns. Like that's so realistic for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it has been so impossible to do to this point because they're just trying so many crazy things to try and get points on the board and work fast and do this and do that. Just do what you do best, and that's run the football, just like you said. Give it to Jaylen Warren as much as you possibly can. Allow Najee Harris to help out as well as that 1-2 punch. Take the game out of Kenny Pickett's hands. Don't even put it in them. Just tell them, hey, you're part of this offense. You know, your job is to get the ball into George Pickens and Deontay Johnson's hands. It's not to win this football game. It's not to manage the clock. It is just to go out there and throw a football where we tell you to throw a football. Allow everybody else to do their job and to do it well. And I think that you give yourself a good shot. Like even if you don't put up 30 points, I still think you give yourself a really good opportunity to walk away from this game with 3 touchdowns and a victory. And that's all you're looking for, you know? Like Patrick Peterson was on his podcast. I caught this the other day on Twitter, and Brian McFadden said something like, if you guys score over 20 points, and Pat P was like, oh man, 20 points, that would be great. And I was just like, it's all they need. Like that's all that everybody on defense knows, that the Steelers offense just needs to score 20 points and they'll be fine. They don't have to do that in the first 3 drives. They just have to do it throughout the ball game and take as much time off the clock as possible to make things, like if you give Jake Browning minimal time to win this football game, the Bengals' odds of winning go drastically down. So I think that's it. Manage the clock as an offense, not as a quarterback. And like you said, give the ball to the guys that are working. That starts with Jaylen Warren. All right. We were real off last week. Although Nick had the score right. It was just backwards. 13-10. He had Steelers. It was it shouldn't have been that sloppy, but it was. Cincinnati's a whole other animal. They're dealing with some injuries, just like you said. Their run defense is a little beat up, and it's not looking the greatest. Joe Burrow's out, but a rookie quarterback last week couldn't help the Pittsburgh Steelers. So maybe it does this week. Who knows? New offensive coordinator. I mean, you got a score prediction for Week 12: Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I'm picking a Steelers win again. 20-16. I think Jake Browning will have enough weapons to like get within field goal range a few times. Maybe they score a touchdown. Like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are just too good. Like you can throw it up to them and they'll make plays. But I also think the Steelers are going to be able to exploit the fact that they can run the ball and they're going to score a couple touchdowns. They're going to have a more productive day offensively. We're going to walk away feeling pretty good about the direction of the offense, and the Steelers the win, and they get back to their winning ways, and they're right back into the thick of the playoff hunt.
20-16. I kind of like that. Like 20 points is a good, not blowing the roof off with this new offense.
Ambitious. It
20
would be,
points is very ambitious for the Steelers offense.
If they walked away with 20 points, I feel like we'd all be real happy. We'd all think that like this is the answer. Eddie Faulkner is the guy. This is what they should do forever.
Yeah, I look at it. You're not wrong. If they score 20 points, that is a W for the offense. No matter how they put it on the board, that's a W for the offense. I'm gonna go a little crazier here. Okay, I'm gonna go 24 because I'm saying they score 3 touchdowns in this one.
Wow. Yeah. 3 American touchdowns. Wow.
3 American touchdowns on this Sunday for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 touchdowns, and then Chris Boswell kicks field because he can't, there's part of me that, Chris Boswell's on my fantasy team, so I need him to score at least 1 field goal in this game, but Boswell's always good for 1. So I'm saying 24 to, I like the 16, 24-16. This is a win for the Steelers. It's not like, I don't think this is like a big blowout. Like, I don't think this is anything crazy. I think it's simply the Steelers run the football and their running backs or whoever else find the end zone 3 times. And that's like, that's it. Like they just found momentum and they kept that momentum. They didn't do anything stupid to screw it up like they've done in the past. And they just build off of it and they let it rock. Because we've yet to see what a Steelers offense does when Jaylen Warren starts bursting out 76-yard runs and then you continue to give the ball to Jaylen Warren. Like we haven't seen that one time this season. I would expect that to happen this week. I'm going 24-16. That seems super crazy ambitious, but this is the new OC game. So I'm feeling good about it. Pittsburgh Steelers win. We'll see what happens. Let's hope for a just like they say, the new OC game is always a good one for the team that just fired their coach. I don't think there's going to be cigars like there was in Vegas, but I would expect a little bit of added juice in this one. We'll see what happens. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday, a huge matchup for the AFC North and the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff odds as a whole. Me and Steven got wins. We'll see what happens.